ஆல் இந்தியா ரேடியோ செய்திக் கதம்பம். G20 உச்சி மாநாட்டின் ஒரு பகுதியாக கோவையில் நடைபெற்ற G20 இளையோர் மாநாடு பற்றிய ஒரு தொகுப்பு வழங்கியவர் செய்தி ஆசிரியர் எஸ். ஜாய்.
கோவை மாநாட்டில் G20 நாடுகளைச் சேர்ந்த பிரதிநிதிகளும் சர்வதேச அளவில் இயங்கும் அரசு சாரா தொண்டு நிறுவனங்களும் பங்கேற்றன. இவர்கள் அனைவரும் G20 நாடுகளின் முன்னேற்றம் தொடர்பாகவும், இளைஞர்களுக்கான கல்வி, தொழில், வேலைவாய்ப்பு, தொழில்நுட்ப பரிமாற்றம், சுற்றுச்சூழல் பாதுகாப்பு, டிஜிட்டல் தொழில்நுட்பம் போன்ற பல துறைகளில் மேற்கொள்ள வேண்டிய வளர்ச்சி திட்ட பணிகள் குறித்து ஆலோசனைகளை மேற்கொள்வார்கள். இன்றைய கூட்டம் மத்திய தகவல் தொடர்புத்துறை இணையமைச்சர் டாக்டர் எல். முருகன் இந்த மாநாட்டை இன்று காலை தொடங்கி வைத்தார். அவர் தமது தொடக்க உரையில் இளைஞர்களுக்கு மத்திய அரசு முன்கொண்டுள்ள பல்வேறு திட்டங்களை குறித்து விளக்கமாக எடுத்துரைத்தார்.
Under the dynamic leadership of our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, India is proudly playing its role as a president of G20 this year. India, the fastest developing major economy in the world, is deeply committed to democracy and multilateralism. India's G20 presidency seeks to play an important role by finding global solutions for the well-being of all. And in doing so, it manifests the true spirit of Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam, or the world is one family. India's G20 presidency will work to promote this universal sense of oneness. Hence the theme is One Earth, One Family, One Future. This theme is also closely linked to the vision of life shared by our Honorable Prime Minister, life that is lifestyle of environmental. And the youth are very important partners. The G20 Young Ambassadors Summit 2023 brings together young leaders across the globe to discuss and debate global challenges. This summit would exemplify India's youth-centric efforts and provide an opportunity to showcase its values and policy messages to the youth across the globe. The world today is facing many challenges like climate change, poverty, destruction of biodiversity, food and nutrition, education, health, women empowerment, and many others, and India can offer a ray of hope to address many of these. India under Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji's leadership is striving to address these challenges in her own way. Friends, there are many challenges for which the world community looks like to India with hope. In recent past, especially in last 9 years, India has risen up to many of these challenges and developed unique India solutions to these problems. The Digital India, the Jan Dhan Aadhaar Mobile, JAM Trinity, the spirit of Startup India, the direct beneficiary transfer to the million of farmers and beneficiaries, establishing India as one of the leading countries in renewable energy with more than 200-fold rise in solar energy installations, and many other such solutions developed by India towards addressing the challenges could also be a guiding light for other societies and economies. The youth of India have been the major driving force in many of these solutions. Our government introduced a new education policy 2020. It's a very important step in this regard, the importance given to the quality education in mother language and breaks of silos between academy and extracurricular skill of youth minds, combining the world-class education and India's rich culture ethos have been the hallmark of this policy. The theme of this Young Ambassador Summit is Fueling the Future of Global Youth. India, with more than 65% of its population below the age of 35. India's G20 presidency and Young Ambassador Summit offer a value opportunity to the young ambassadors to work for the global causes. And I am sure the young ambassadors will surely grab this opportunity.
G20 நாடுகளின் முக்கிய பிரதிநிதியாக விளங்கும் திரு அமிதாப் காந்த் இந்திய அரசுக்கான ஆலோசகராகவும் செயல்பட்டு வருகிறார். அவர் இன்று தமது தலைமை உரையில் மத்திய அரசு மேற்கொண்ட பல திட்டங்கள் குறித்து எடுத்துரைத்ததுடன் உலக அளவில் ஏற்பட்டுள்ள மாற்றங்கள் குறித்து இளைஞர்களுக்கு எடுத்துரைத்தார்.
There is a global recession going on. 1/3 of the world is under recession according to IMF. 75 countries of the world are facing a global debt crisis. There's a crisis of climate action and climate finance. And if we are not able to accelerate the pace of climate action to 1.5 degrees centigrade by 2050, we'll all be extinct. And therefore, this is one of the biggest challenges before us. And India is taken over the presidency of G20 during very turbulent times, time of great upheaval in the global economy. But every challenge is an opportunity. And to our mind, this is a huge opportunity for India. In the past, India has always responded to an agenda set by the developed world. This is the first time that India is setting an agenda for the entire world. G20 is important because it accounts for about 85% of the global GDP. It accounts for about 75% of the global trade. It accounts for 90% of the patents, and it accounts for 2/3 of the world's population. And as the Honorable Prime Minister said, that India's presidency will be very inclusive, will be very decisive, will be very ambitious and action-oriented. India's presidency is critical because a good presidency is incumbent upon 3 critical factors. And let me dwell on some of them. The 3 critical factors is the political and the developmental narrative that we set out for the rest of the world. Secondly, it is the kind of priorities that we spell out. And thirdly, how well we organize this. And I'll briefly dwell on each one of them. The development and the political narrative is that we are a democracy. We are the motherhood of all democracies. But the development narrative is very important. And that development narrative is that India has been able to digitize its economy in a very big way. It built identity for over 1 billion people. It has 1.4 billion people have a digital identity. During 2015 and 17, we were able to create 500 million bank accounts. But India's development agenda is because in the last 8 years, we built about 30 million houses. We've provided about 110 million toilets. If you look at India's transformation during the COVID period, we were able to give vaccines to 2.2 billion people of India, which was totally paperless, cashless, and was entirely digital. And therefore, we've ensured that we build up digital public infrastructure which is totally digital in nature. And that is why we provide a health insurance to 500 million people of India. The SDG goals of 2030, the Sustainable Development Goals, instead of progressing, have regressed. And therefore, you need a new accelerated action plan for sustainable development goals so that the entire world can benefit from India's leadership.
இந்த கூட்டத்தில் பேசிய தமிழக ஆளுநர் திரு RN ரவி சங்ககால இலக்கியங்கள் குறித்து விரிவாக எடுத்துரைத்தார். திருக்குறளில் எவ்வகையான குறள்கள் உள்ளன, அவைகள் வாழ்க்கை நெறியை எப்படி நமக்கு கற்றுத் தருகின்றன என்பது உள்ளிட்ட பல முக்கிய அம்சங்களை அவர் G20 நாடுகளின் பிரதிநிதிகளுக்கிடையே தமது உரையில் குறிப்பிட்டார்.
Literature, philosophy, displays the Tamil Nadu, Tamil people, Tamil literature, Tamil culture is several thousand years old. It goes way beyond the common era. And since then, this land has nourished, has shaped the culture, civilization and the idea of our great country. The great work of great Thiruvalluvar, Thirukkural, unique combination of spirituality and ethics in the 1330 Kurals. It happened several thousand years ago. And we continue to derive inspiration and strength from that. Our literature of the Sangam period, the great Silpadikaram, Manimekhalai, Purnanuru, Tolkapia, so many, endless. This is the land of sages, saints, intellectuals, poets, philosophers. And here,
இத்துடன் இன்றைய செய்திக் கதம்பம் நிறைவு பெற்றது.